Army Regulation 69950, Career Management Program, Mark F. Averill, Administrative Assistant Secretary James McConville, General United States Army, Distribution Regulation, electronically only, intent of the regular Army, Army National Guard, Army National Guard, United States U.S. Army Reserve, Summary of Change, Chapter 1 Introduction, Chapter 2 Responsibility Career Program, Enterprise Management, Civilian Strategic Human Capital Planning, Talent Management, Army Intern Program, Appendix Reference, Internal Control Evaluation, Career Program, Table List, Typical Alignment, Army Competency Management Framework, Career Program, Proponency Policy Organization, Program Organization, Army Civilian Capital Life Cycle, Department of Defense Competency Management Construction. Chapter 1 Introduction Overview Purpose for the regulation prescribed policy responsible for developing, managing, conducting Army Civilian Career Program Management Reference Form Expiration Abbreviation Brevity Codes electronic publication defined. You hover with the Army abbreviation brevity codes acronym listed and directory located with the Army Pope's Army Mill. Associated Publication section contains no entries. Responsibilities are listed in Chapter 2, Records Management, Record Keeping, Record Management Requirement, all record numbers, associated forms, reports, required publication address, records retention schedule, detailed information, all related to record numbers, forms, reports, list located to Army Records Information Management, RMI, Army Mill, and record number forms and records and current address are not published in the Department 25403. Section 2 Army Mission, Army Civilian Corps, Army Mission Strategic Goal, Mission Army is to fight the nation's war with a prime sustained land combat party joint forces is to accomplish organization, equipment, training, armed forces, prompt sustained combat incident to operations on land, integration capabilities of those of the armed services, accomplishing all missions assigned President, Secretary of Defense, combat commanders, remaining ready while preparing the future. Army strategic goals is to provide joint force commander with a force prepared to seize, retain, exploit. Army strategic goal is to provide joint force commander with force to seize, retain, exploit, initiative to gain, maintain positive relative advantages, sustain land operations simultaneously, offensive with defensive stability with defense support, civilian authorities operations in order to prevent, deter conflict, prevail, and create conditions of favorable conflict resolutions. Army civilians stand and support soldiers' mission. Deploy then across the globe. Army could not function cadre. Army civilian employees who have passion, dedication to use their unmatched expertise, support, sustain soldiers and their families. Civilian workforce vision. Vision is adaptive, flexible, Vision adaptive Army civilian capabilities based on cohort support, integrated policy procedure programs, produce, deliver the right to person, right to place, right time, support current mission, enable Army 2025 beyond, enabler, vision, Army career program, proponency, and enterprise. Mission Army Career Component Army Career Program Proponency Enterprises provided system realize full talent of each Army civilian. 1-8 Army Career Program Proponency. Army Career Program Proponency provides structural plans, progress, activity directing, supporting system, organizational, occupational, and individual growth. Army civilian designated career programs throughout civilian happy human capital life cycle entails progression and serious training, education, professional development programs, assignment involving broad knowledge, improved skills, and greater responsibility. Essential cornerstone of the career program proponency is strategic human capability planning. Strategic human capability planning provides prescriptive method to assess current state of workforce, identify competency gaps, strength, forecasting emerging future workforce requirements, include those expeditionary nature as part of the total Army planning. Career program proponency provides each Army civilian with the capability to define career goals, identify career development paths, and competency-based training plans. Section 3, Army Civilian Career Program Proponency Enterprise. Army Civilian Career Program Proponency Institution deliberate to develop Army civilian system continually monitors assess current capabilities of Army civilian workforce program requirements specificity system establishes state Army professional Army civilian corps provide holistic systematic approach to managing technical leadership development in Army civilian throughout the human capability capital life cycle support civilian function manpower requirements access in this analyst incident to total force planning strategies need to be built Army civilian workforce to meet these requirements. Identify required competency proficiencies, levels employed to meet current future mission. Communicate those requirements to appropriate stakeholders. Paragraph 4 through 4.6 complete with the current competency level, the requirements, current proficiency level, determine current competency gaps and gap closure methodologies. Identify career paths in order to provide competency-based career map Army civilians to enhance career planning development. Army Civilian Career Management Concepts Assistant Secretary Army Manpower Reserve Affairs Assistant Manpower Reserve Affairs Lead Proponent Army Civilian Career Program Management Assistant Staff Proponency Deputy Assistant Secretary Army Civilian Personnel Army Career Program Committees. Army Career Program Committee is a biannual inter- and intermediate development committee established, provided systematic process to resolve issues, determine policy making decisions for the career program proponency. Chair of the DAS, Department of Security, Army Career Program. The purpose of the Career Program Policy Committee to serve as a senior advisor group to recommend changes and improvement to the career program policy procedures. Career Program Policy Committee forwards policy recommendations to the Department of Army Secretary as Secretary of the Army, Career Program Assistant Secretary of the Army, Manpower Resource Agency, concurrence and coordination of appropriate Army staff with the Career Program Proponency Committee recommendations concerning policy implementation, implemented not adopted, general resource requirements, general priority relationships of the Army, initiative of the current Career Policy Proponency Committee ensures career policy proponency can sustain requisite readiness for Army Civilian Corps. Primary career component Career Program Policy Committee membership consists of all the career programs representing the functional chief and the design representative of the career program proponency committees, primary members and voting members. Advisory career program proponent committee membership consists of the assistant deputy chief of staff, G357, the director of training command, G1 human resource directory, U.S. Army Force Command, U.S. Army training doctorate, U.S. Material Command, U.S. Army Installation Management Command, U.S. Army Medical Command, U.S. Army Corps Engineering Director, Civilian Human Resource Agency, Advisory Career Management Program Policy Committee, members of the non-voting members, Career Program Policy Program Committee, Chair of the Headquarters of the Department of the Army, Joint General Officer within Senior Executive to attend. Career Program Proponency Committee meets at least twice annually. The Career Program Proponency Committee in the spring and in the fall. Travel per team Associate Career Program Proponency Committee. Responsible home station organization attendee working groups. Career Program Proponency Committee. Chairman established work groups and support Career Program Planning Committee. Career Program Proponency Committee, other than stand of the Career Program Enterprise Initiative as of the work group, to assist with the Career Program Proponency Committee to establish responsibility with a forward appropriate issue of the area interest in Career Program Proponency Committee, Career Program Proponency Committee with a work group compensation side with the Department Assistant Secretary of the Army, Career Program for Approval work group, composition will vary, including Career Program Command Representative with the Department of Army Secretary, Department Assistant Secretary Army. Career Program provides guidance to work group. DASA Career Program Civilian Career Proponency Division and chairs of the work group may initiate the subject matter expertise as needed. Chapter 2 Responsibility Assistant Secretary Army Manpower Reserve Affairs. Proponent Career Program Management, responsible Army Civilian SHCP, competency-based workforce planning system, ensure the readiness Army Civilian Corps to meet mission requirements. Army Assistant Secretary of Manpower Reserve Affairs will approve career program management policy guidelines strategies. Figure 2.1 Career Program Management organizational structure. And I'll show you the chart real quick. Assistant Secretary Manpower Reserve Affairs, Department of Defense Security Assistant Career Program, Career Policy Management, Department Chief of Staff G1, 3, 5, and 7, Functional Chief, Career Program Policy on the right, Functional Chief Representative Career Program, Proponency Office, Force Contract, Army Material Command, Medical Command, U.S. Army Corps, Information Management Command, Civilian Human Resource Agency. And promote sufficient investment, civilian technical evaluation per PD, opportunities targeted to maximize overall return investment, lead integrated SHCP, include workforce capability readiness effort framework, total force planning, provides SHCP, forecasting oversight, Army integrator, appointing component functional commander, functional community managers, assistant office secretary of defense, functional community managers, Department of Defense wide career program management issues. Secretary of Defense can functional community managers work on the OFC, component functional community managers or the Secretary of Defense functional community members ensure respective career program committees and skill needs to support both DoD and Army mission. Appointment of the FQ support career program management, participating civilian program proponents, competency enterprise issued. Consider civilian program competency recommendation. Consider the recommendation Army Civilian Training Education Development System, Army Intern Executive Resource Board, annual approved ACTEDS, Army Civilian Training Education Deployment Development System, terms allocation issue guidance for mating, annual reporting requirements according to the National Defense Authorization Act of the SHCP related to reporting requirements, for example, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission and Management Directive 715 report on behalf of the Assistant Secretary of Manpower Reserve Affairs, Department of Assistant Secretary of the Army, Civilian Career Program Staff Proponent responsible to monitor integrating SHCP and full spectrum Army Civilian Human Capital Life System Cycle Management within Career Program. In doing so, we'll confirm with the FQ, the Functional Chief Representative in common leadership of the Human Resource Manpower Authority, Department of Assistance, Secretary of Army Program Career Program will serve as the Army Principal Advisor, lead faculty, facilitate a career program policy resource requirement related to Civilian Corps Career Program Management, monitoring strategic environmental workforce trends, component assessment, gap analysis, ensure the requirement, retention, development, initiative addressing current future mission of the requirement, including those expenditure of the nature, establish career program functional proportional proponency, occupational and cross-occupational necessary with the SHCP facilitate Army Civilian Life Cycle Management, develop and establish career program management policy procedures, program requirement to develop, establish policy, proceed with the program requirements for issue relating to SHCP forecasting, function lead agent of the career program Proponency Committee and the AIRERB Career Program Proponency Committee biennial spring and fall. With further information, paragraph 19. Facilitate work group of the Career Program Proponency Committee, Career Program Proponency Initiative, provide technical support, Career Program Proponency offices, monitor their staff leveling, optimal support career program management, establish and execute the internal control evaluation, provide feedback to the Army leadership of the control program proponents community regarding compliance effectiveness, Army career program management, serve the Army lead componency development and utilization, monitoring and evaluate effectiveness, gap mitigation, strategy for identify with the functional chief representative based on the command feedback, review of Army Acteta's plans of the frequent functional chief representatives of the Career Competency Program Department act as individual department program office provide oversight overall program management act as interim program IP interim program management office will forecast propose act as interim allocations of each career program chairman of the AIERB coordinate review and approve of the AIERB recommended by the act as allocation assistant secretary manpower reserve affairs recommendation change policy procedure the manning act as intern strategic assist, coordinate with a functional chief representative, recommend the assistant secretary army, manpower reserve affairs, relocation, act as intern authorization if not fully executed career program based on program requirements, allocate act as resource support costs, salary, related training, education development, act as intern program administrative costs, review approval, permanent change of station orders necessary to end the initial entry duty and permanent placement activities in turn when necessary coordination functional control representing the command's civilian human resource agency direct placement act as certainly funded in terms of appropriate army-wide vacancy approve requests as needed to continue with the carry act as intern centralized active with an intern account 120 days beyond the initial 2 years functional information paragraph 6.8 from monitoring execution management act as intern program take corrective actions needed evaluate effectiveness act as intern program including impact succession source for future functional enterprise leadership position evaluate approve reject with the state staff with approval of request deviation procedure for the describe of the policy enclosure coordinate policy change needed to provide act as intern program central program career program proponency committee prior gain assistant secretary as army manpower reserve affairs approval policy changes asset effectiveness strategies and reduce functional competency gaps community career program management initiative stakeholder frequency ensure army remains informed of DoD component external agency initiative government intergovernmental partner their human capital and efforts as appropriate and applicable ensure career program proponent staff and is trained with the having capability to perform assigned responsibilities. Alright, I want to see how long chapter 2 is, and then, okay, so I'm going to stop here. I'm having a hard time reading the abbreviations. When I read these straight, I have to pick up the abbreviations and pretty much go from instant recall and without screwing up the tape because I like to read it straight through so I don't stop and I don't have time to really do very much. And we were on Deputy Chief Staff, page 8. I'll come back tomorrow.